it's just this running theme that they have.
Well, it's Zootopia. I don't think Zootopia is Pixar.
It's not. It's a Disney.
It is.
Racist, even though I just, but it's the father who doesn't want her daughter.
Welcome to It's Friday, folks. I need more coffee. How's it going? On the show today, one battle after another. Paul Thomas Anderson's movies being hailed as genius, best movie of the year. Is it? Plus, The Strangers, Chapter 2, Eleanor the Great. Lots of movie news, including Spaceballs 2, the cast read of the script. And Alan is here. I don't know where he is, but somehow he's going to make an appearance.
Hey, Fred, what do you say to a little bowling today?
Barney, I think I'll stay home tonight. I want to watch that show everyone's talking about. I think it's called Film Fred.
That's not the one. That's definitely not the one.
I'm really busy at the moment with Dr. Doom, but I'll say it. Alan.
Hey, man.
Hey, I don't know what these openings are.
I don't know what these openings are. Well, we're just having fun. We're having fun. It's going to be a weird, I don't know what's going on at the movies, but I feel like I want to call it the meh-vies. There's a lot of movies we've seen that I would describe as meh.
I know we're entering the month of Metober.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I mean, I love horror. Obviously, during Halloween season, haunt season, horror dominates. I have a lot to say about horror. There's been some really good horror films this year.
Yeah,
I think two of the top Oscar contenders are horror films, Sinners and Weapons. Those both films will be Oscar nominated, and they're horror.
We just saw another one last night.
We saw another one. Well,
another
I saw
Oscar
one
contender.
Well, I saw a horror movie last night, and I can tell you definitively it's not an Oscar contender.
Fun.
There you go. So, hey, let's see who's here before we get started.
I was going to say, you saw Eleanor the Great too?
Yeah, I also saw that.
All right, Jeffro Maddox for 2. We need a film threat, the t-shirt.
Okay, done in the style of Spaceballs lettering. Done. We will launch that shirt when we do the Star Trek funeral. We'll have the Star Trek funeral commemorative shirt and Film Threat the t-shirt. Jeffro Maddox. Promises made, promises kept. I'll say most of them.
Most of the time.
Not all of them. Acolyte season 2 delayed again.
I know, what the hell. Macho Elbow for 5. I was shocked by how upsetting one battle was. I didn't think. Oh, you want to save this one actually?
Oh yeah. I'm gonna Macho Elbow. We're gonna save that for when we talk about one battle after another.
And we may or may not agree with that opinion.
Yes. So stay tuned. We will address that when we can do that. But thank you for your
patience, and then we're done.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, you're right. Okay, cool.
All right, here we go. Suns and Shadows. Chris Coffee Pool, 1 cup in, 2 to go, and still hasn't cleaned his desk.
No, it's you have no idea. I'm gonna make it for members only. I'm gonna show you what my view of this room is. It is.
Be careful. You're gonna hit the wall if you move your arms too much.
Yeah, dude. It is like I love the show Hoarders until my office became something out of that show. People send me a lot of gifts. Obviously, I get a lot of DVDs for review. This room is filled with comics, DVDs, and collectibles and Film Threat stuff. And it's too much.
Davina Duckworth, Disney raised the price of Disney Plus and Hulu again. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, it's
And,
I just
now I have to.
unsubscribed. I just canceled my Hulu subscription.
I know.
I only
well,
had Hulu.
I'm debating on whether I want wrestling or not. So I may have to go to the triple pack with ESPN.
Yeah.
And
Thanks,
I'm not happy about it. Lord Thoth, like, share, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications, sign up as a member, join us on X, Discord, Rumble, and Instagram. Buy our merch at shop.filmthread.com.
Your quick reminder, go to shop.filmthread.com. Our fall collection, touchdowns and pumpkin spice, everyone. Plus, we've got drink koozies, which I love. That's in our drinkware and accessories, recently added to the shop by demand. And I bought 2. I think I'm the biggest customer for our shop. I truly am. Look at all this stuff. Can coolers. I love it. Film thread. Regular and slim for when you drink White Claws, Alan.
Yes, when I do, I'll have the koozie.
Yeah,
The
there you go.
cooler.
Thank you for that. And a couple other reminders. Submit to award this. The deadline is approaching. We did extend the deadline. I'm making an announcement today on our socials. The deadline for award this has been extended to our final deadline. We had a couple filmmakers say, I want to get my movie in. I'll get it to you in October. The deadline is now October 30th. And a week later, we will announce the nominees. It's going to be exciting. So go to awardthis.com if you're a filmmaker. And if you're just a fan of the show, guess what? Come to the party. It's the only award show you can buy a ticket to in Santa Ana, California.
Mm-hmm.
People fly in from everywhere to come to our show. So awardthis.com. We'll make an announcement about when tickets are on sale too. Drinks, gift bag, red carpet, the whole awards experience. You're going to love it. So there you go. Cool. All right, Alan. We've got some breaking news. And I'm excited about this. Spaceballs sequel cast announcement. Okay, now they've announced the cast. I got the press release. Okay, and let me read to you who is in the cast. While I show you a photo, I'm going to show you a photo of when they released the cast announcement. They put out this photo on X. Okay, here it is. Spaceballs, the table. Now, wait, before you say anything, notice details. There's a pizza on one chair. People are all sitting around kind of serious, couple laughs here and there, and they're presumably reading the script for Spaceballs 2. We see someone on a computer. I don't know who that is. But here's members of the cast are Lewis Pullman as Starburst. I assume that's Lone Star's son. Kiki Palmer as Destiny. Anthony Kerrigan, unnamed. Rick Moranis back as Dark Helmet. Mel Brooks will play Yogurt and President Scroob. Bill Pullman is back as Lone Star. Josh Gad is in the movie. Daphne Zuniga as Princess Vespa, coming back.
Yay.
George Weiner as Colonel Sanders. So there you go. That's the cast. And there are other members there that are unnamed, I guess. So whatever. But one thing I want you to notice, look at this photo carefully. I'm going to share another photo. This is when they did the cast read for Star Wars The Force Awakens. This was the photo that they released. The Force Awakens, episode 7. This was like what, probably 2014. They showed this. This is the cast. And this is now the photo they released for Spaceballs 2. They're trolling Star Wars. They're trolling Star Wars, The Force Awakens, and J.J. Abrams. I think it's brilliant. Again, This is the cast of Spaceballs 2 and the photo they released. And then this is the photo that was released when they showed the cast reading the script for Force Awakens Star Wars. It is an epic troll. It's a subtle troll. I love in the Spaceballs 2, you see the pizza, like Pizza the Hut. There's a pizza on a chair.
By the way, notice the trash can in the box in the right side.
Yes, there's that. There's
Okay.
a helmet on the coffee table, some shoes. This is great. So hopefully, fingers crossed. It's.
Do you know what the trash can is in reference to?
Yes, there's a trash can at Spaceballs.
No, go look at the trash can here. Now go back to the other photo. Go back to
Okay,
the other photo.
Okay, I'm gonna go back to the other photo. R2D2. But they set it up perfectly, like kind of in a circle. It's not perfect. I love it. I love that they did this. So
Big fire hydrant. Yeah.
Hoping for the best on this movie. And what a way to start your comedy with a troll. I love it. I love it. Hey, our friend of the show, Troy Duffy, has a movie coming out. We had Troy Duffy on the show. God, it was like maybe a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
And it was supposed to be a short interview. He talked for 2 hours. Well, in October, Troy Duffy is coming back. We'll do a special Hollywood on the Rocks. Troy Duffy is coming on the show, and just the whole show is going to be Troy. We'll do a little bit of news at the top. Troy will come on. We'll talk to him for a couple hours. But he has a he has an audiobook coming out called the official Boondock Saints audiobook. And there's a trailer for the audiobook. Now, I think this is clever. I like that there's there are trailers for books now, Alan. Not sure if you're aware.
Yes.
But let's look at I have not seen this. Let's look at the trailer for the official audiobook for Boondock Saints. And keep in mind, Troy Duffy joining us on the show for a big interview. Let's watch this.
But you have beaten, bludgeoned, and impaled the heart of Christ. So wash your barbarous hands in his blood. Then stand quaking in terror before his avenging angel.
The full armor of God.
God is dead. And you have killed him.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. That's very dramatic. So we'll have him on the show. At Boondock Saints, obviously, I'm a fan. It was released to theaters last year for a special one night only event. It's very I would say very comic book, very much inspired by Punisher, Daredevil, all of that. it is a comic book like anti-hero superhero story, influenced by all of those things. And we'll have Troy on to talk about that. He's very outspoken. Do you remember last time when he was on?
Yeah. It was a long yet animated interview.
Yeah, he didn't want to leave. He didn't want to leave, and we kept him on. It's like, hey, I got to go see a movie. Sorry, we got to end it, but we will make nearly the entire show when he's on will be just Troy. I think it's the end of October.
Okay.
We'll let you know. So very encouraging.
So is the original cast back for the audiobook?
I don't know. Let's ask him.
Yeah.
That was a teaser trailer. We'll get to it. All right.
By the way, we do have an interview with Sean Patrick Flannery on our channel as well.
We do. We've got a lot of great interviews. Go to the Film Threat Interviews channel. It's linked on our main page. Look up Film Threat Interviews. Hey, I have not seen this trailer, but I don't know what it is. Serial killers seem to make good movies and TV series. Monster, the Ed Gein story. Gein like just kind of inspired everything about. And we're gonna get hit for this because it's Netflix. Maybe we shouldn't show. Let's not show Netflix trailers in the future because we always get hit. So you're gonna have to cut this. But we'll watch it together now. Yeah, we keep getting hit on trailers. It's not worth showing them. I'm not sure how many more trailer reactions we'll do, but let's do this one while we've got it up. And let's take a look. Okay.
Wow, I can't wait to hear your review of that movie.
I don't. It looks like it's a series. I don't know. Even I love horror, and Ed Gein supposedly inspired Psycho, the movie Psycho, the character in Psycho. So I don't know. What is
have fun with it? Chris.
Is anyone watching the show? Did everyone tune out? So. I don't know, folks. I don't know what the reaction to that is. That is horrifying. Yeah. He's probably in the pantheon of serial killers. One of the most widely known and influential in storytelling, at least. Okay.
Wow. Thanks for bringing us down there, Chris.
Hey, I did not put that in the planning document. No more Netflix trailers. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
no more.
Again.
Hey, let's cleanse the palate. Avatar Fire and Ash is coming. It's 9 hours long. I don't know what the running time is. Let's find out, actually. Let's find out what Avatar Fire and Ash running time is. But the new trailer is here. It gives us a little more of a taste of the story. It appears as if it's 3 hours and 12 minutes, according to IMDb.
Wow. I mean, that's on par.
Yeah. But let's see the new trailer. And it gives us more of the story. I'll talk about it once we watch it. I do think it raises the stakes. This is a better trailer than the other trailer, which was just eye candy, no story. I wonder if they should just end it here, frankly. But here it is, new trailer. It's going to make $1 billion. Hollywood needs it. Theaters need it. Let's go.
This is the only pure thing in this world. The fire came from the mountain, burnt our forest. My people cried for help. But Eva did not come.
This world is much
deeper than you imagine.
Protect your sisters. Yes, sir. Stay in the cover. What does that always say?
So we stick together.
No, the other one.
So we never quit.
That's right. Solis never quit.
How do you still live?
What if every human being on Earth could live here without a mask? Then the Na'vi people will be gone.
Whoa.
You want to spread your fire across the world. You need me.
We must fight! I call upon the warrior mother. I'll kill you! I swear!
Yeah, it's gonna make a lot of money.
Yeah.
The story elements we saw there is the one human character, that sort of feral, young that boy now can breathe. He looks like he got killed and then resurrected by Awa in that, and then now he can breathe on Pandora. He doesn't need a mask to breathe, and he can even connect. So he is reborn and reformed as a hybrid. So it appears from what I've seen. So what do you think, Alan? Now, by the way, I don't hate the Avatar movie. I don't collect anything. I don't buy. Are there novels? I don't know. Are there comics? I don't know. Are there toys? Probably. Are there video games? Yes, there are. Haven't done anything extracurricular outside of watching the movies. So I just watched the movies, and you know what? I enjoyed them for what they are. They're high fantasy. What it reminds me of, it's the living embodiment in pure movie form of when you would look at these. I have a collection of old 1950s and 60s science fiction pulp, which is a science fiction, these little paperbacks, but they're like collections of stories, and they're monthly, like, quote, magazines. I'll show them off one time. The artwork on them is amazing. Beautiful images of like sexy women, and then spaceships, and then laser guns and robots. And one of the magazines is analog. One is sci-fi. They're great. These magazines, they were of the time, and they're like, you know, there's stories from like Frank Herbert, and you know, Kurt Vonnegut, among others, in these old pulp sci-fi, and the paintings like evoke this fantasy. You look and you're imagining, you could stare at all the artwork on the covers of these, and that's what an Avatar movie looks like. You've got mechs and undersea vehicles and space vehicles and tech and aliens and alien creatures. It's like a montage of all of that. So on that level, visually, as a spectacle, I enjoy the movies when I watch them, and I have a good time, but I don't think much about them after. And it's clearly, they're going after a colonizer, anti-colonizer theme. I mean, it's so obvious, all of it. The first movie is effectively Dances with Wolves. or Dune. I know that Dune. I know the grandson of Frank Herbert, who told me that he knows I'm a big Dune fan, so we talk on social media. We've had conversations in person, and the first go at trying to make a Dune movie back in 2012 got stalled because Avatar came out. It's Dune. Structurally speaking, an outsider comes to another world, integrates with the locals, conquers the worm. In this case, Jake Sully conquers the dragon, those flying dragons, right? Then turns on the colonizers. So, anyways,
Yeah. Do you want me to answer the question you asked me 5 minutes ago?
yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry about that.
What did I think of the movie? The trailer?
What'd you think of the trailer? Oh my God.
my
I'm
God.
sorry. I went off on a tangent.
It's like,
Apologies.
I know you're every 5-minute rant you do always starts, Alan, what did you think?
You're right. You're right. Yeah, call me out. I deserve it. It's funny.
Right.
Okay.
Weirdly enough, this is the year where I'm actually looking forward to an Avatar movie.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing else. I liked Way of Water a lot better than I did the first one, and mostly because I remember when Way of Water came out, the discussion was, it's a family movie. It's a movie about a family. It's a movie about a father who is protecting his family. And it was like, we don't see movies or hear stories like that. We haven't heard one in a very long time. And I'm kind of, with the way this year is going currently, and with the movie we're about to talk about, I'm like, yeah, I want a movie about a family. And I do like, when regarding specifically this third movie in that trailer, I didn't really think it would go in a direction like it is, and I'm kind of excited about it because it's kind of, we're not dealing with just humans anymore, and that there's a bigger conflict, and I'm looking forward to it. We'll see how it plays out, but yeah, like I said, of everything that's coming out for the rest of the year, weirdly, Avatar is the one I'm looking forward to the most. Because what else am I supposed to be looking forward to?
Exactly. So, and obviously we see it building towards, they've turned these fire Na'vi are turning against, so it's going to be this war, but I guarantee it's going to build up in the 4th and 5th movie. If they actually make them, it'll be all the Na'vi united against Earth. It's going to be weird. I'd like to see Earth. Why don't they take a Na'vi back to Earth? Wouldn't they be a curiosity? Would Earth be looking to resettle on Pandora now that humans can breathe the air on Pandora? It's going to be we'll see. I mean, I
feel like that's
the storytelling is so simple. You can predict what's going to happen.
Right, but I feel like if they go back to Earth, that's the jump the shark moment where we just run out of ideas.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. What about Wicked for Good, Alan? Aren't you looking forward
I am
to that?
looking forward to Wicked for Good. Okay, there's 2 movies. Oh, and then there's the Merrily We Roll Along. That's the third one I'm looking forward to.
Is it? That's crazy.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. One more news story before we get to reviews. Well, actually, maybe a couple here. 2 more. The Acolyte true cost is confirmed. That's right. As if we didn't already know, our friends at That Park Place, the Acolyte true cost confirmed $250 million for canceled Disney Star Wars disaster. I think it was 230. Do you have the notes for the story?
Yes.
Please.
Yeah, well, when That Park Place first revealed in September that Disney's Star Wars series, The Acolyte, had surpassed $230 million in costs, fans wondered how high the total would climb. Now, according to journalist Jonah J. Campbell, hey, Jonas, the final figure before tax credits and excluding marketing hit a staggering $254 million. Campbell posted on X, remember when Leslie Headland said Acolyte costs 170? She was correct if you only count spending through September 2023 in pounds, British pounds. I can now confirm that the Walt Disney Company spent $254 million on the Acolyte before marketing and tax credits. Headland's 170 estimate was entirely false. It was incomplete for the one season of the TV show that flopped. The Acolyte's budget was, as one article noted, a breathtaking sum, especially one that failed to gain traction with audiences and was quickly canceled. The series had promised a fresh feminist take on Star Wars, but instead delivered a story that demonized father figures and relied on identity politics as both shield and sword. Let's see. And I think, let me see. In contrast, Illuminate's official streaming tally showed the show brought in 2.5 billion minutes watched, failing far behind Netflix Love is Blind, which logged 7.3 billion minutes in the same year.
Well, first of all, everyone guessed this. This isn't a shocker. This isn't a surprise. I mean, I think when we did originally our coverage of the Acolyte and reviewed the series, that was the number that we had. Not even sure where we got it, but everyone was reporting it. I mean, I, for one, I don't know how much of a fan you are, Alan, but I, for one, have the Acolyte figures here. Here they are from the Hasbro Pulse Direct website. I have, and they're in the classic kind of Kenner style packaging. Well, it says Kenner on there. So, I'm a fan. I hope they make season 2, but
I hope someone makes season 2.
I mean, I think it shows you, and that show looked terrible. It looked like it was shot in the volume. It looked like it had cheap sets. Compare that with Andor, whatever you think of these series, like or dislike. Acolyte was spent poorly by an inexperienced producer, and Andor looked probably the best Star Wars has ever looked since the OT. It
By the way,
looked amazing.
The Acolyte was not shot in the volume. Those were practical sets.
But they looked terrible.
I know. At last year at the Catalina Film Festival, one of the actresses was there, and she talks about stepping on the set of the Acolyte for the first time, and I think the impression she had was, where did all this money come from? Because she realized how detailed it was and how expensive it was. And again, I think the most important question is, how did this happen, and why was nobody fired? Why was no one at the head of Lucasfilm fired for allowing a show to run, for its budget to run rampant like this and cost hundreds of millions of dollars? And if you are a stockholder, this just goes against the value of your stock at this point.
Well, you know who was very cost conscious when it came to making Star Wars movies? George Lucas.
Yeah.
Because, in fact, Lucas, money-wise, let's go through. He forfeited much of his fee to make the first Star Wars movie so he could hold on to sequel and merch rights. Turned out to be a very smart choice. He personally funded and got a bank loan for which he was responsible for to make The Empire Strikes Back. He bet everything. He was always looking for ways to, how can I make this great, but at a reasonable cost? How can I make this look amazing? How can I achieve this effect, impossible effect, but do it in a responsible manner? And that's because George Lucas, through his father, learned to be a businessman. He was, in the end, if you're an indie filmmaker, which George Lucas, it was really the heart of an indie filmmaker and made indie movies before Star Wars. You're an entrepreneur. Your money is on the table. You care more about these decisions. And when you're a producer that's got all the money in the world from Disney, you spend carelessly and irresponsibly. And it really, I mean, when you look at the filmmakers who succeed in Hollywood best, they all, for the most part, come from indie film because they took that huge risk, because they knew that, I mean, their livelihood was at stake. The money that was on the line was their money. I know because I've done it. So, I mean, I'm just about to put out a movie I made 20 years ago called My Big Fat Independent Movie. We're doing a deluxe Blu-ray edition. We'll do sort of a one-night theatrical screening of it. You know, it's I remember how I felt at that time making Attack of the Dock. Luckily, I had money from a crowdfund, a Kickstarter, but I also had to spend money of my own out of my pocket. The money we got paid for some of it, not nearly all of it, plus getting the Blu-rays done. So I know what this is like, and filmmakers would be wise if you're pursuing a career in Hollywood. I don't know. You don't need that Hollywood degree, that college degree. Go to film school for a bit. Check it out. Hey, these are the books I have to read. I'll read those books. I don't have to go to school to prove to you I read that book. Go out and spend what you would have spent on a master's. Just make a feature film. Make mistakes, take it on the festival circuit. You will learn so much when everything is on the line. But I really think that this is why these corporate films turn out so corporate series, movies, whatever, turn out so poor for the most part, or soulless or uninspired, because they've got all this money. And I'm sure from the looks of it, Leslie Headland hired her partner,
her lover,
hired her friends, and paid them very well. And that's great. But you know what? In the end, the series, now I have no problem with her actually making The Acolyte. Don't change a word of that script. Don't change anything, but make it for 20 mil. See if you can do that. And you can have Acolyte 10 seasons. You do it that cheaply. The reason there wasn't a season 2 is because they spent too much. She is the woman who spent too much. That should be a title, like the man who's something, like an old film noir, the woman who spent too much. Anyways, final thoughts, Alan. We'll go to comments.
Yeah, I'm just looking things up here, but George Lucas spent $115 million on Phantom Menace, Attack of Clones, and Revenge of the Sith each. And then if you adjust for inflation, we're looking at the most expensive was Phantom Menace at $220 million, and then ranges down to like 185. Yeah, it's like, you know, when you say George Lucas knew how to spend money, he did, and he also understood the payback, the return on investment, which, you know, I don't know who thought that they could make. Let's say the goal was to double the production cost. So how do you make $500 million on Disney Plus? I mean, who is running this company? Who are asking the important questions? And why is nobody fired at the top? I mean, it's a monumental.
Ultimately, they didn't do a season 2, so nobody was. So,
but still,
they were in effect. I mean, you're freelance. You're not really fired. You're just not asked back.
But to say, I mean, what other television series is like this? You know, that you know what. You know, they're investing $250 million in what they think are multiple seasons of The Acolyte. I mean, that must have been the justification. But who there read the scripts, understood the story, saw that? Well, I mean, Kathleen Kennedy did, and thought that, yeah, $250 million to start this franchise. That's insane. You usually start lower and then add more money as you have.
Well, you've got the sets and costumes, and the design work was done, so the cost is amortized. And the second season ultimately should cost less, but so they really invested in this. It was really about the High Republic.
Or worse, someone read the script and said, "This is a $250 million production."
Well, that someone should get fired.
Yeah.
We're going to go to comments after one last quick story. Leonardo DiCaprio calls box office very important. I should note in a separate story, Leonardo DiCaprio was doing interviews and mentioned that when he first was going around Hollywood, they mentioned his name sounded too ethnic and that he should be called Lenny Williams. He should change his name to Lenny Williams. But look, we're about to review one battle after another. And in Variety, Leonardo DiCaprio calls box office very important for one battle after another. Paul Thomas Anderson wants people to see a movie different than what we've been saturated with. What does he have to say? Is this should I play this? Should I play this clip?
Okay, yeah.
Let me play this. Let me I gotta cue this up.
Yeah. You gotta unmute it too.
Yeah, I will do that. There's a whole process, Alan. Let's look at this clip and what Lenny Williams has to say about this.
We were talking about that earlier. I think there's just like an inundation of content, so much production going on now, which is
not anymore
thing, obviously. But I think, box office is important because it means people are in the seats going to theaters, going to have that communal experience, because this is a film uniquely crafted and specialized to that experience. I mean, Paul shot this movie in VistaVision cameras that have rarely been used since the early 60s. I mean, put together and he wants people to have that immersive experience and make an action film that's unexpected, filled with twists and turns, tactile, realistic, and something that I think is probably a lot different than what we've sort of been saturated with. So in that respect, I think box office is very important. I would only hope that people go out to the theater and actually experience this movie the way it's meant to be seen.
So there you go. That was the comment. I agree. You should see movies in theaters. It's kind of like, I don't know if you really seen the movie, if you've seen it, a movie like this, that is. And I agree with DiCaprio that box office is important. It's a gauge of what resonates in the zeitgeist. The Avatar movies, love them or hate them, they resonate with a lot of people who go to see it. The people that it resonates with don't even go to the movies that often, but they'll go to an Avatar movie. And when a movie like, say, for example, Sinners, when it gets good box office, something about that movie, the messages, the story, it resonates with audiences. Something about the Marvel films used to resonate with audiences to the tune of every movie was $1 billion. And then as the box office for Marvel movies took a dip, they seem to not connect or resonate with audiences. Basically, when you go see a movie in the theater, it's like voting in an election. You are voting for what movie I want to see more movies like this. I like this movie. And when you see a movie more than once, that says a lot. We've had very few movies, I believe, in recent times, even worth going to see more than once. Recently.
And the ones that did are all horror movies.
Yeah, well, yes, horror is we can have a whole conversation about why horror is resonating now. It's a way we work out things in our psyche and our lizard brain. I'll talk about that more in a bit. But Alan, what do you think about Lenny Williams' comment? I mean, Leonardo DiCaprio.
Well, I mean, there's so much content. Well, not anymore. But that, having said that, yeah, he's, we say that the theatrical experience is important. Everyone says it's important. I just wish the studios would live up to that and give us something worth watching. And we'll soon talk about his movie that will bring droves of people to the theaters, hopefully.
let's go to your comments now, and then we're going to review 3 movies opening in theaters this weekend. We got a lot of comments. Let's start with Soups.
Yeah. Well, from
Oh,
Macho
no,
Elbow.
no, sorry. That's anything about One Battle After Another. We will save. My apologies. That was my fault there.
Okay. From Knee Pain for 5. Are we going to see a trend in upcoming shows? Ed Gein trailer is out and DiCaprio is in pre-production for Jim Jones. Hollywood is getting dark. Well, Hollywood,
yeah, it really is. Sorry, go ahead, Alan.
Yeah, Hollywood does what Hollywood does. When one thing succeeds, there'll be 10 copies of it. And we're in that right now. Start with Monsters, and now we're seeing Monster. And then we're going to Jim Jones. It'll just keep going.
Well, I mean, we've always had like these kind of dark films. They get more attention now. I mean, murder podcasts seem to be an obsession, or true crime podcasts and true crime shows on Netflix. It's very dark. I think that what people want is hopeful messages. I think they want positivity. I think the country has shifted. Maybe a dark, negative message is not going to resonate. It doesn't sell. I'm going to call it out, fear porn. We see a lot. One side of the political aisle is peddling fear porn. Another side is peddling hope and prosperity. I'm for hope and prosperity, and we need to see that in movies. Now, balance that out. I like a good horror movie. I like a good dark, mainly during Halloween. I pretty much, when I watch recreationally shows during October, it's Halloween stuff. So, but yeah, it's a bit much. That Ed Gein trailer is, I don't know, that I think it went a little too far even for me. I mean, but
didn't really sell the movie to me. I think it just wanted to be creepy.
I don't know if it's a show. I think it's a show. Yeah. Thanks, Nipe.
All right. Bulbasaurus Brutal Avatar for 20 Swedish krona. Avatar 4. Wetter fuck next time.
I think better luck next time.
Oh, okay. But it's in the water, so it's wetter. Fresh Snow. Looks like a 3-hour video game cutscene. Yep. Royson S. Bailey for 2. Cameron makes films for cinema, a dying breed. Well, Nolan is in there too. Sons and Shadows, gifted 5 Film Therapy memberships.
Hey, thank you for that. That's awesome.
All right. Death MLT Dude. Death Metal Dude. Okay. I still don't understand why this is James Cameron's passion project. Because he's pouring a lot of time and energy into it.
It's his legacy now.
Yeah, it is. This is his swan song. The Garth Knight Returns. Remember when Titanic was the most expensive movie ever made? Pepperidge Farms remembers. Yeah, Tim is not funny. Turning Star Wars into a boy brand was bad, but it was girl math that ultimately killed them.
Yep,
yeah, if you throw more money, more people will see it. Gein inspired Leatherface, Buffalo Bill, and Psycho.
Yeah, that's true. Thanks, Razorburn.
Yeah. Let's see. Probably Viva for Vendetta as well. Brock Samsonite. Also, I have a sneaking suspicion that the moment Disney realizes Rick Moranis' SAG card is active again, they're gonna dump a truck of money on him to make another Honey, I Shrunk the Kids movie.
Yeah,
I could almost guarantee you Disney has already done that.
Yeah.
Mr. D-Man 21. Mel Brooks is almost 100 years old. Good for him. He's as old as my grandparents.
That's seeing Mel Brooks in this will be great.
Yeah. To Beast 808 for 2. Aloha and blessings, Frankie, Ing the Merciless, and chat. Well, thanks to Beast.
Yeah, thank you. Good to see you.
Brock Samsonite. Rick Moranis is also back for a movie sequel to Strange Brew called Home Brews. Both original actors are back.
Well, that's great.
Dave Thomas is another one you don't see often.
Hey, Alan, you and I both saw a movie with June Squibb. I love June Squibb. She's in a movie called Thelma, which came out last year.
Mhm.
She was, she was nominated for a lot of awards, didn't win, but I loved Thelma. I thought it was great. She is back in Eleanor the Great, and it's from director Scarlett Johansson. Direct ya, I hardly knew ya. But Scarlett Johansson has directed this movie, and it's about it's about Eleanor, who has a friend who's Jewish, who tells her, and she survived Auschwitz.
They're roommates.
They're roommates, and she survived Auschwitz, shared so many stories with her. Her roommate passes away. She moves back home to Jersey, like New York, right? Back to New York.
Mm-hmm.
And oddly, she joins this survivors support group, even though Holocaust survivors support group, even though she would never was in the Holocaust. Her daughter enrolls her in this group to give her something active to do, to talk to people, and she starts sharing stories of her friend, but they all assume it's her story. She's telling the story of her life. A young woman hears this story and wants to write an article and do a paper for her class. This young woman, Nina, played by Aaron Kellyman, and her father, Chiwetel Ejiofor, plays Roger. He's a TV host whose wife passed away, Nina's mother, which leads to a big misunderstanding. Because Eleanor is telling this stories from the Holocaust, which was her friend Bessie's stories, and everyone assumes it's her stories. She's in her 90s. It's not all there. I love June Squibb. I think she's amazing. This is a very by the numbers drama that is very predictable. I mean, as much as I love June Squibb, I've seen her in better movies. Thelma being one of them. Strong recommendation for Thelma. An action movie starring a 90-year-old. And it's hilarious. Really good comedy. So I'm not a fan of Erin Kellyman. I don't know why she gets cast in these things. I don't quite believe her. She would tell
you didn't like her in Falcon and Winter Soldier, or
no, I didn't like her in
Willow, in the Willow series.
I didn't like her in Solo or the Willow. I don't know what it is. I think she could be a good actress. She's got to find something. I don't know. But she would tell Ejiofor, we saw in Life of Chuck. I love him. Yeah. He's one note in this. It's fine. It leads to. Anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll say this about Erin Kellyman. I think this role was more suited for her than every other role she's ever done.
Yeah,
because she's just playing a college student. There's nothing.
Well, but the one thing I do have to point out one thing about our character, which made me not like, for no reason in a scene, she goes out to have lunch with Eleanor. She befriends her. She's kind of a weird kid. Her mom passed away recently. She's kind of dealing with that pain. She doesn't have a lot of friends her age, and she randomly, when they're having a conversation, she's like, I'm a lesbian. Moving on for no reason, out of the blue. And then it's like, and she's like, okay. Eleanor's like, well, you love who you love. Okay. And that's it. She has to she could have not mentioned it at all. Why does the idea of what Nina's character's sexuality, why does that matter? The point is, it doesn't matter. But for some reason, Scarlett Johansson, the director, it was in the script. If we say that one of our characters is LGBTQ, we get points.
Yes.
Well,
it's a signal of virtue.
And it stands out because it's not a plot point. She doesn't have a girlfriend. There's no.
She doesn't
romance.
get one at the end of the movie.
There's no girlfriend. There is literally nothing about Nina's character in this movie that has anything to do with her being
Yeah,
lesbian.
being gay does not inform her character in any way for the rest of the film.
Exact. She just says, "I'm a lesbian." LGBT content. This is now LGBT. Scarlett Johansson gets points. The actress, I'm sure the actress probably is lesbian or bi. That's very.
They probably got a tax credit for that. Maybe that was it.
Who knows? But I really feel in modern Hollywood, you get points for content being a certain way. And this is one of those examples. You didn't need that. This is a streaming movie that is being released to theaters. It should have been on Netflix. It's very average at best. I can't recommend it. 5 out of 10 for me. What do you think, Alan?
Yeah, I was somewhat on board at the beginning in terms of, it's June Squibb. She had a good friend. She passed away. Now she's kind of lost. She interacts with her family. There's tension there. Hey, why don't you go to the Jewish Center? Okay. And then she sits down, and then she's in she realizes she's in the Holocaust survivors support group. She was not part of the Holocaust. And just as she's about to leave, they say, "Oh, no, come back. We want to hear." And then it's from that moment on, I realize, I know how this movie plays out.
Yes, it's so predictable.
It's that classic. Look, a lot of movies would end early if people just told the truth.
Yeah.
This is one, as she had just said, I'm in the wrong group. I'm mistaken. My bad. And the others could have said, "Oh, well, I'm glad you're here. Why don't you join and hear our stories?" I mean, that's kind of how it could have played out. But no, we have to go down this rabbit hole for the next, 70 minutes at that point. And from there, it's just, I know what's going to happen next. I know. Oh, hey, they want to tell her story they want to interview her in her college class. All right. Yeah. Didn't see that one coming. And then it's, her dad's a reporter on television. He wants to do a story on her. Oh, I wonder how this is going to work out. Oh, and then she's going to get bat mitzvahed. And they're going to film the whole thing. I wonder what's going to happen. And it's just, again, the problem with when you do a movie like that, when the problem is the audience is far ahead of you. And when the audience is far ahead of you, they're just going to sit there and wait for you to catch up to them.
Right.
And that was the problem with this movie. That was the problem with the what was the Scorsese Indian Native American film?
Yeah, that movie.
That one, it's like, yeah, we know where this is going. And we just sit there and we're just waiting for the story to catch up to us. And the cast in this thing is so great. And I think the only reason that you would want to see this movie is because you like June Squibb and you're a fan of Scarlett Johansson. Everyone does a fine job. And I just don't know that that's enough to draw me to the theater to see this. Definitely wait for streaming on it. So there you go. Look, good on Scarlett Johansson for getting the money to make an independent film. And she made it.
Let's go to comments here.
Mike MC Wong. I actually like this. Yeah, I think that, but Mike, you and I are kind of the same in the sense of we see a lot of movies. And, Dear Evan Hansen was the first one that I really kind of got into with this type of story. If you just told the truth at the beginning, life would be great. But no, you get caught in this lie. That was the first time I really liked Dear Evan Hansen. And then after that, it's like, well, I've already seen the best one. Why am I seeing this one? Patrick Lemire, virtue signal checkbox. Yeah, not only is she lesbian, but she's half black, half Jewish. And I guess a woman makes a difference as well.
If only she was in a wheelchair.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, you know what? I'm gonna switch it up. We need to talk about this movie, The Strangers, Chapter 2. Alan, you don't see a lot of horror. I see horror. And I did see The Strangers, Chapter 1. The Strangers, Chapter 1 is kind of a remake of a movie called The Strangers. Now, to be clear, The Strangers movies, my understanding is they're making 3. Who knows? Maybe more. Because The Strangers Chapter 1, which I saw in a theater, by the way, and the cast was there, did a Q&A after. It's on our members only channel. Look that up. It's I would say like it's a fine, it's like in a pinch. It's kind of like bad pizza. If there's no good pizza around and you have pizza in the fridge and you're like, well, I guess I'll just have cold pizza for lunch or breakfast. It's fine. It works in a pinch. And The Strangers Chapter 1 was a fine, say, slasher movie with 3 masked, mysterious characters. Who are they? What are their identities? What is their motivation? And it was fine. It ended with, of course, Maya, the final girl, played by Madeleine Pesch, and her fiance was killed in the first movie. He makes an appearance in this movie. The Strangers Chapter 2 is the sequel. Not only the sequel, it picks up directly where Strangers Chapter 1 left off. Now, this is directed by Rennie Harlin, of course, Finland's most famous film director, mostly known for action. And what I'll say about this movie on the plus side, it's kind of like, a lot of slasher movies, they kind of, you get to know the characters. Yeah, who cares? They're all going to get killed. Yeah, it's fine. And the third act of every slasher movie is a cat and mouse, with the killer and the pursued, the final girl. This movie should have been called Final Girl the Movie, because it starts immediately with Maya in the hospital, waking up, recovering from her wounds. She's going to be, her friends are going to transport her to another hospital. Somehow in the hospital, everyone leaves at 5:00 or something. She's alone, nearly alone, and immediately being pursued. This movie takes what would be the third act of a standard, slasher movie and makes it the whole movie. Now, so she's being pursued by the masks of the 3 characters. They are pretty frightening. And there are a lot of legit, decent jump scares. Although one of them is the worst. I'll get to that in a moment. So the whole movie is like the third act of a slasher movie, cat and mouse. What's around the corner? What's beyond this door? I'm being chased here. I'm being chased there. Now, these movies, I kind of, while I'm watching them, like, well, I know this is bad pizza, but I like bad pizza. There's something in our lizard brain, which is why horror resonates, and horror so consistently, even bad horror movies will make money because the audience is so forgiving, right? We just want to be scared. And I can't deny I was scared a couple times. I did jump a couple times during those jump scares. So the movie is in effect bad pizza. In the end, it's bad pizza. And one of the worst things was Maya's being chased by something and they don't show it. And when you finally see it, it's a boar. A terrible CGI boar, and has a confrontation right out of The Revenant. It's not good.
Did it wear a mask?
No, it did not wear a mask. Okay. But the one thing this movie does, so throughout, it's like I say, it's this extended the entire movie as cat and mouse, slasher stuff. And also wondering, well, could this person be one of the masked people? But you get, and it adds almost nothing to the story. They interrupt what's happening current day with a flashback to the masked strangers when they were kids. And guess what? You'll never guess, Alan. they're creepy kids who like to kill things, like animals and other stuff. So surprise, the people in the masks doing the killing were kids that were kind of creepy kids that killed things. It honestly doesn't add much. It stretches it out. I do admire the ambitiousness of the strangers in terms of the movie ends with a tease for chapter 3, which I have to see now. I want to know how it's going to end. So, for everyone, unless you are a hardcore fan, which I know you're not, don't see this movie. It's a 5.5 out of 10 at best, but it's bad pizza. And in a pinch, if nothing's on, I've seen everything. It's like, all right, I'll check out this horror film. So I'm only recommending this to hardcore horror fans who have to see everything. But, and I am curious about what happens, but it's a real bare recommend.
Now, from what I see, the cast is mostly white. So are they at least lesbians in the movie?
There are no, I don't know. They haven't revealed if there are lesbians in the film.
Even DEI is not wanting.
We'll find out in chapter 3.
Well, I hope they are, because this is very bland. I mean, nothing special.
Let's go to comments.
All right. AD Ellis, the original Strangers film is one of my favorite horror films. Even the sequel was a fun time. No interest in this.
It's like a requel.
But did they have to? And do they say anything new and different? Something worth making a reboot for?
Exactly.
Okay. One Punch Tolkien fan, finale Girl Boss the movie.
That's what it is. That's what it is. Hey, Alan, you and I both saw One Battle After Another. This is the return of Paul Thomas Anderson, his last film, Licorice Pizza.
Actually, can I preface this by just showing you a few reviews? Because
our review?
Yeah, because this is mounting to be the greatest movie ever made. This is from Justin Chang over at the New Yorker. Used to work for the LA Times. One Battle After Another is a powerhouse of tenderness and fury. I mean, and then look, I'll go to this amazing website called Film Threat, and written by Alex Tavalev, and 10 out of 10. Just one of those rare examples. Think Pulp Fiction, No Country for Old Men, and Sicario, where nary a moment is wasted and each scene smoothly leads to the next. A perfect synergy of sound and visuals, of heart-rending and heartfelt, of allegory and verisimilitude. So again, we're about to review the greatest movie ever made.
Well, let me just say, everyone's saying best movie of the year, best picture, Oscars, all around for the acting. Why don't you let's talk about what the story for Paul Thomas Anderson's One Battle After Another. And quickly, he did Licorice Pizza, was his last movie, which I really loved. It's a simple romance. It's a slice of life in an era. And also it's mostly white people in the movie, I'll just say. But I really loved Licorice Pizza. It captured an era in pop culture history. It was a fun film. Highly recommend it. One Battle After Another is a checkbox of all the things because his last movie was nominated for a lot of awards. I think it won barely nothing, that movie. And it's almost like One Battle After Another is PTA's make good for making a movie that was way out of touch. This movie is diverse. This movie has political messaging. This movie features protagonists that do bad things, such as they're part of a group. They never say the words Antifa. It might as well be Antifa. The lead guy, Bob Ferguson, played by Leonardo DiCaprio, is a bad guy who makes bombs. He makes bombs. And he has this torrid relationship with a woman who is a warrior. She is Perfidia, played by Tiana Taylor. She is this warrior woman, and Bob Ferguson gets her pregnant. He's really the beta in the relationship. Perfidia is the warrior woman. She is breaking into ice facilities, rolling up
horny
trucks.
as hell too.
Yes, she's breaking into ice facilities and freeing illegal immigrants. She's doing all these virtuous things, all for good. She's against the government. And she gets pregnant, and there's an iconic shot you'll see of her shooting off her machine gun while pregnant. She has a daughter, but then she gets captured, Perfidia, and makes a deal with the government to turn in all of her cohorts that are in this resistance group. They never call it Antifa. They never say ICE, but we all know what this is. So Bob Ferguson goes underground with his now daughter, Willa. The older Willa is played by Chase Infinity, and they have to take on fake names. They live kind of off the grid. They avoid tech and cell phone stuff. They're in secret. But Willa is high school age, a high school kid. Bob's a weird dad. He's just a weird dad, but he's a good dad. Why? He cares about his daughter. Sean Penn plays Stephen J. Lockjaw, this buff. He wears shirts too small for him. He's a buff guy who's going. He has a thing for Perfidia, and they have an intimacy at the same time that Bob is during the course of this. The movie sets off where Willa is now being chased by Stephen J. Lockjaw and his minions of he's got the authorities. You know, he's in charge of the authorities that are going after Bob and Willa. And all Bob wants to do is save his daughter. Benicio del Toro enters the picture as Sensei Sergio, who is part of the resistance in his own way and tries to help Bob. 2/3 of this movie is about Bob can't remember the password he's supposed to give when he needs help. It's actually very funny. That's the funny part. The first third of this movie, I will just say this movie is burdened by the fact that current times may not really be in favor of a movie that, whether it wants to or not, kind of glorifies things that the resistance is doing. Violence against the government and authorities, using bombs to blow things up, and breaking into ICE facilities and releasing illegal immigrants. I think last I looked, 80% of the American public is kind of in favor of maybe people should not be coming to America illegally, and they should go through the correct process to come to America. I just don't think your general Joe public would be in favor of what a lot of this movie, the protagonists, engage in. And I felt like while the movie, I warmed up to the film once it really became a father-daughter story. I found everything about the first third of this movie unsettling. It was almost too on the nose with current events. We recently, this week, just had an attack in Dallas on an ICE facility in which the people who were in custody were the ones that died. It's going to be hard. I mean, they set a narrative around talking about this movie that it's best movie of the year. And, you know, I'm not one to toe the line. I can be I like a lot of things. I don't like things. You know my taste. In this case, I have to be the contrarian, and I do not love this movie. It's also 2 hours and 50 minutes. Alan, what did you think?
Yes, this is a progressive's wet dream. The I remember about half an hour in realizing going to my phone and wondering how long this movie is, and it's 2 hours and 40, I believe, or 250.
Yeah.
Look, the biggest thing about a movie is you have to have some kind of connection with the main characters. You have to like the main characters. Otherwise, if you don't like the main characters, if you don't like anyone in this movie, you're in for a very long 2 hours and 40 minutes.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what I was going through. It's just, these are, it's French 75. That's the name of the group. They're revolutionaries. They use bombs, all that. And I'm supposed to like them. These
Right.
are the main characters. And so therefore, for me, that this is a movie where you have to buy into the conceit in order to have some kind of enjoyment. And I will say, half the people, less than half of the people of America will probably like this movie, and the other half will not like this movie and will stay away. I was gonna make a big point here. It's I'll just keep going.
Well,
But
say this: the performances are great. Leo is
mean,
amazing. Benicio is amazing. Even the actress who plays Perfidia, she's doing like a parody of like a black female badass from a black exploitation movie. There's a weird thing I found also unsettling. Stephen J. Lockjaw, played by Sean Penn, is a degenerate perv, and it's creepy. Chase or Willa may or may not be his daughter.
right.
Like there's creepy stuff. And Sean Penn's character is also involved with a group of white supremacists.
And that's, to me,
he wants to join this group.
right.
There's like creepy stuff around this movie. What's weird is this movie reminds me of, have you ever seen when a comedian, and comedians will talk about this, where they say really offensive things that lose the audience? And then what you can do, if you're a really good comedian, you'll win the audience back. This movie lost me in the beginning. I was not with it. The morality of this movie is way off from current day America. The last
I think it's even worse than that. I think it's even worse than that. It's
okay.
Because look, the heroes of the film are the French 75, the Antifa group. And and by the end of the movie, it's like, hey, everybody, join the revolution. Come on, everybody.
Yeah.
The problem, this is the biggest problem of this movie. Let's take the politics out of it. The problem of the movie is that there is zero character development in this movie. You just have characters. You have the compassionate dad who's a bomber. You have the militant mother who. Then you have the Sean Penn character who is the pervy, white guy, white supremacist. And the problem is that these characters are exactly the same at the beginning of the movie to the end of the movie. The only one that has some kind of character arc is Willa, the child, she's a high school student, and by the end she's a revolutionary. Sorry, right. I spoiled the movie for you, but that's look, you mentioned it. We are in a time where it's us against them. This movie was not made for us; it was made for them, and I have to believe that most people in America are not them, and that they're us.
I would say.
No, hold on. Let me one more point here. Warner Brothers. This is a Warner Brothers movie. The last 7 movies that Warner Brothers has put out, opening weekend has earned at least $40 million. I think this breaks the record, or I think this ruins the streak. Because I can't imagine $40 million kind of going to this movie because it is so politically divisive. There's no there. Look, I read these reviews that said, "Oh, it's not black and white. There's a lot of color to it." And things like, no, this is a black and white movie. You're either for this movie or against this movie. This movie either loves you or it hates you. And in my case, it hates me. And so I did not have a moment of joy or pleasure watching this movie. And 2 hours and 40 minutes is a very long time when you checked out at the beginning of the movie.
And I'll say this, finish my point about a comedian. When comedians lose the audience, it's a thing where you kind of win the audience back. That's what this movie was, I believe, attempting to do. But I think this really is a movie that, based on current day politics, I think most people are not going to like this movie. This is going to be a divide between critics. You're going to see, I don't know what Rotten Tomatoes is right now. We'll check. But give me the link for the Rotten Tomatoes score for this. This will be the most divisive movie of the year. Because based on what's happened in the last 2 weeks, it's almost irresponsible of Warner's to put this out.
Oh my God.
Based on current events. And we'll share it in a second. The Rotten Tomatoes score. And also most people are in favor of illegals going through the legal process to come here. Okay. Legal process. And the tactics of an Antifa don't appeal to most normal people. I'm talking about people on the left and the right. Normal people, average, everyday normies, do not approve of making bombs or attacking ICE facilities or attacking authorities. And it's that revolutionary spirit is not really part of normal everyday Americans.
But they want it to be.
And as much as there are aspects of this movie that the things I liked, there are aspects of the movie that are very funny, like weird, kind of funny, uncomfortable, funny. Those are the things I liked. But the overall message of the movie, I'm lost. So I can't recommend it. In the end, I can't recommend it. Now, so you're going to see the biggest divide between critics and audience. There'll probably be an audience score. Is not really big now, but let's take a look at what it is. I'll share it here. Oh, that's interesting. 98% critics, 88% audience. Okay, I stand corrected. Let's see where that is at the end of the weekend. Yeah. But Alan, let's bring it home. Final thoughts, and we'll go to your comments.
Yeah, it's awful. You gotta be able to relate to your characters, and in this case, I don't. I mentioned before, there's just no character development. There's this trend that's going on in movies today where character development, the hero's journey, is just not needed anymore. All you have to do is take a virtuous character and torture them throughout the entire film and let them come out on top at the end. There's no personal growth in these movies, and there's certainly none in this one.
Well, that's I have to concur, and just think a lot about this movie is unsettling. I will say I've seen movies like this in the past that I was troubled with, that I warmed up to. I don't think that'll happen in this case, from the standpoint of the fact that what the characters are doing, we're seeing play out in the news. And it's really not, I mean, look, Apple, I think in a very smart way, canceled or at least delayed their series Savant with Jessica Chastain. Apparently there are themes in that show that mirror current events. I think if Warner was smart, they would have delayed this till next year. Let the temperature cool. You could not release this movie at a worse time in America. And I think the majority of regular everyday Americans, which are people who will not see this movie. Your average American is not going to see this. The only draw is Leonardo DiCaprio. I don't know that he has enough fans to draw people in. Being honest here.
He has enough.
But for a 2-hour and 40-minute movie that glorifies the tactics of Antifa, I'm not sure that's how they see Leo.
Yeah, I mean, I'll only counter that in the sense of Hollywood is very left-leaning. Hollywood embraces these things. There's enough people in Hollywood to shell out money to see this. It's like Broadway. For some reason, you can go super left on Broadway, and there's an audience for that is willing to spend hundreds of dollars for tickets for this. So, but I just can't imagine this. I think this is going to ruin the $40 million opening weekend streak for Warner Brothers.
Well, we shall see on Monday on Versus. We'll talk about it, but I can't recommend it. I can't recommend it. And at least people in my circle, people are not looking forward to it. I like Paul Thomas Anderson, but not every movie's a home run. This is one of those.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go to your comments.
All right. Let's see. Macho Elbow for 5. I was shocked by how upsetting One Battle was. I didn't think it was possible for me to dislike a Paul Thomas Anderson film this much. At times sickening.
Yeah, especially in particular the character Sean Penn's character.
Jean Hu gifted 5 film their memberships.
Thank you, Sean Hu.
Tim is not funny. The moral compass of this movie is off. There are great things about it, but it's overly long and stretches scenes beyond interest in pursuit of tension and humor that only kinda materializes. Let's see. Here we nope. Okay, Uncle Jimmy, remember no, that's not it.
No.
Profound Lore Records for 5. Paul Thomas Anderson is my fave current director alongside Scorsese, and as much as I really like One Battle, it's not a masterpiece nor close to being a Paul Thomas Anderson's best movie. Uncle Jimmy, remember for 5 months, saw One Battle last night. I actually liked it. I get the politics and all, but I felt it was more than that. Chase scene felt like I was in the car.
Yeah, the chase scene was good. They're not. Look, there are good things about this movie. There's a major problem that
I mean, you mentioned Leo and Benicio. I thought they were okay. I
thought they were great.
I don't know that they were acting, in any way that's notable. Magnum Norse for 5. Where's Savant? Probably much worse than this One Battle movie.
Yep, I would agree. Going back to non-soups.
Okay. I will not eat the bugs. One Antifa after another. Mr. D-Man 21, just watch Machete.
Yeah, Machete's great. It's more the level of satire.
Mm-hmm.
So, and everybody loves Danny Trejo.
One Punch Tolkien fan. This movie sounds like a leftist wet dream. Yes, I believe
it is.
Rhaegar Targaryen. So is this what Leonardo is going to do from now on? Activist leftist movies? He's been doing that for a very long time.
Yeah.
God Knight Returns. Let Alan speak, Chris. Stop colonizing him. Yeah, stop colonizing me. He won't make soup for you tonight if you don't behave.
To be fair, I do think Alan and I have to get better at. First of all, I'm excited to talk to Alan every time we do the show. I'm excited, especially when it's a movie that I know will be, highly charged.
Yeah.
So we both interrupt each other, and we have to get better at that, Alan. Like, no, I'm being serious, Alan.
You want me to get better about that?
You and I both have to get better at that.
I don't think I interrupt you as much, and I don't think I go on as long as you do. I think that'd be the 2 criticisms.
That's awesome.
English Bachelors for 10. For the lights, the wax paint, and the curtains, love what you do.
That's right.
All right, press M to start. Yikes. Pro Antifa movie. Wonder if Trump will say anything about it. Be horrible if there's people who are inspired by it, and I think I'm going to skip it. I think this is definitely a propaganda film. There's no doubt about it.
100%. Yeah, it's 100%. I just remember walking out, everyone loving it, and me going like, I did not love it.
Yeah.
I'm troubled by this movie. I'm troubled. A major studio is putting out a movie that's a revolutionary resistance call to action to, like, you know, get weapons and bombs and do it because it's the right thing to do. I have a problem with that. And I do think that here's the problem. I don't even know if you're going to see people start to hear about this movie. You're going to see people on the right talking about this movie, and they are going to crucify it.
Geek True 64. Remember, for 29 months, Kermit's reaction behind Alan sums up my thoughts.
Yeah, he's in a coffin.
Yeah, that's right. Let's see. Madam Isabel Melvin Juan Garata the Fourth for 5 says Paul Thomas Anderson doesn't miss, and while I like Licorice Pizza, this is much better and one of his best. Will be many comparisons between this and Eddington. Didn't like
Yeah,
Eddington.
I hear that. I liked Eddington more only because it felt like more of a comedy. And while this had comedic elements, I just think I just can't get past some aspects of the film.
Yeah. I just feel like both movies were, you know, I don't like you, and I don't care that you watch my movie. The movie's not for you. And that's kind of how I felt.
Well, I felt like he was trying to do a checkbox of what he thinks Hollywood wants, the kind of movie he wants Hollywood to make.
No, but he's got to have some kind of feelings about the story and some kind of, you know, he's got to believe the story he's telling.
Yeah.
I don't think he's just making a movie Hollywood wants.
Andy Makes Star Wars became a YouTube member. And that's going to wrap it up for us today. Want to thank Atomic Lori. Want to thank producer Glanuccio, Lord Thoth, MK Solid. I don't know, they're not there. Go to filmthreat.com for a 10 out of 10 review of One Battle After Another. Look, the whole thing, look, I love this. We have 30 writers that are contributors to Film Threat. Got about 4 or 5 that regularly contribute, got extended. Mm-hmm. Alan writes a lot of reviews. It's a diversity of opinions. And the point is to have the conversation. You don't have to agree, but, you know, I love having conversations and talking with people I disagree with. You know, recently there was a person we lost who also thought the same way, that we should reach out and talk to people we disagree with. We need more of that. And that the discussion around this movie will be that. I haven't talked to any one of the mainstream critics from our colleagues at the CCA that they all are lockstep best movie of the year. They love it.
I even if you remove the politics, I don't understand how this is the best movie of the year.
Same. Yeah, I agree.
You know, it's like Hell or High Water. It was a good adventure movie about crime, but I don't know that that was the best movie. You know, I know it didn't win best movie, but I don't know why people are saying it from a story standpoint.
Alan, I have to get to the Catalina Film Festival.
Yes.
Because you can see 0 hours. It started. So I am getting on a boat in mere hours to go to the festival. So if you're going, say hi to me. If not, I'm going to take a lot of video, and I'll be probably shooting Q&As. It should be a lot of fun. So it's a 1 hour boat ride from Long Beach. So that's where I'm going.
Have fun.
Well, I'll talk about it on Wednesday.
Yeah.
I'll do my report from the film festival. But that's it. Wraps it up for us this weekend. Thank you to everyone who sent in a super chat, including Patrick Lemire. Over under for Oscar wins 199. Patrick, a lot of Oscars. I don't know about wins. A lot of nominations.
A lot of nominations.
And by the way, why? It's a very weak year. What else being released between now and end of the year will get as many Oscar noms.
But clearly, I think Sinners is the better movie, and it's also it checks more
True.
boxes.
Yeah, Sinners, Weapons, and this in the mix. So there you go. Thank you, everyone. Thank you to Atomic, Lori, Glenuccio. Did I thank them?
Yes, you did.
And
but you can keep going.
Next week is October. You know what that means.
Well. Hello, Mr. Ing. I will be paying you a visit this evening in your dreams.
Mr. Ing, please show us a bit of that scary improv you do so well.
Don't be scared, Alan. I just need a friend to play with.
Next week, my Halloween decorations go up. It's October. That's a preview. We'll be talking, horror. We're having a funeral next month. A Star Trek funeral. You ready for that?
Yes. We need to talk about the date, though.
Okay. Yeah, we'll work it out. Yep. All right, Alan. That's it. Have a great weekend, everyone. Go to the movies. Try to find something to watch. I know it's hard, but try to find something to watch at the movies. And that's it for us. I'm off. You know what? I'm going to be on a boat. And Alan, do you have anything to say?
Yeah, let's get out of here.